Simon & Schuster Australia presents Australia's Aviation Heroes, True Stories from Our Airmen at War by Colin Burgess, narrated by Steve Shanahan. A list of abbreviations, acronyms and a bibliography are included in the PDF that accompanies this audiobook. So it was that the war in the air began. Men rode upon the whirlwind that night and slew and fell like archangels. The sky rained heroes upon the astonished earth. Surely the last fights of mankind were the best. What was the heavy pounding of your Homeric swordsmen? What was the creaking charge of chariots? Besides this swift rush, this crash, this giddy triumph, this headlong sweep to death. H. G. Wells, The World Set Free, 1914. Introduction and Acknowledgements. The genesis of this book stretches back some 40 years when I was both a senior flight steward and sole editor of the Qantas cabin crew magazine, Transit. One of my editorial initiatives was to put together a series of interview articles with a number of leading personalities from Australia's aviation past. I was joined in the effort by fellow senior steward Sid Corverin, and we each contributed articles based on those personal interviews. All but one of the articles I decided upon and wrote at the time are contained in this book, albeit expanded and updated from their original appearance back in the early 80s. In fact, two of my interview articles featuring the Australians who flew in the famed Dambusters Squadron were similarly expanded and combined decades later and became my book, Australia's Dambusters, Flying into Hell with 617 Squadron, published by Simon & Schuster Australia in 2021. Thus, a precedent was set for this new book. The final chapter came about by chance when I was conducting some more recent research into the life of one of the subjects of this book, Joe Herman. One of his antecedents had the Germanic surname Zupp, and through this I came across the extraordinary story of RAAF Meteor pilot Philip Zupp, who served in two wars in very different ways, and was the first Australian ever to be recommended for the Purple Heart, an American award for those wounded in combat conditions. I managed to contact Philip's son Owen, who is continuing a family tradition as a Qantas captain, and with his permission and assistance put together his father's remarkable story. Thus there are amazing tales of heroic circumstances and survival from an eclectic group of Australian pilots from the First World War right through to the Korean War.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?